Hey guys, it's another Wednesday night movie night on the channel, as the channel honors baseball movies on the tabletop. This time around, it's the movie 8 Men Out, talking about the 1919 Chicago White Sox, Black Sox, whatever you want to call them, and the gambling that went on that caused 8 baseball players, including Shoeless Joe Jackson, to be banned for life from baseball. So Charlie Sheen played Happy Felsch, that's him in the bottom there, and John Cusack played Buck Weaver, the third baseman. And in the upper right-hand corner of that picture is the guy who played Shoeless Joe Jackson. His name is escaping me at the moment. D.B. Sweeney, I believe is his name. And the fellow who played Eddie Seacott at the bottom, I don't remember his name. He's been in a lot of movies, but his name just escaped me off the top of my head. But anyway, we've got Statis Pro to commemorate this game because I was able to download the 1919 Chicago White Sox and the 1919 Cincinnati Reds from, I just Googled 1919 World Series Statis Pro, and someone within the community had put this card set out there. So that's what's sponsoring this game. So sit back and relax and get ready for 8 Men Out. This is Game 1, a Game 1 replay of the 1919 World Series to honor the movie 8 Men Out. Okay, we look at our starting pitchers for today's game. For the Cincinnati Reds, it'll be left-hander Dutch Ruther, and he is a fatigue rating of 12, so I've got him there on the 12. Eddie Seacott, or Eddie Seacott, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I always call it Seacott. He's also got a SR rating of 12 as well. So all ready to go. Shane O'Collins has stepped in the batter's box. Umpires have said, let's go. So we're off and running here. Game 1 of the 1919 World Series to honor the movie 8 Men Out. The fast action cards have been shuffled and they're ready to go. And now Dutch Ruther, who is a PB 2-9. So he will control anything on the PB flip that's between a 2 and a 9. So the first flip of the game is going to be an 8. So that, of course, is controlled by Ruther. So the next flip is an 85, and that is in the out range because Ruther's out range is 28 to 88. Now, what kind of an out is it? We flip the next card to find out. Shane O'Collins is a right-handed normal hitter, but in this case, all batters ground out to first base, but there is an asterisk, which means we do need to check for potential error. So we do one more flip, and the error is none. So it's a ground out to first base unassisted, and we're underway here in Game 1 of the World Series. And that'll bring up Eddie Collins, the second baseman. I'm assuming no relation there. Eddie Collins, the second baseman, will step in the batter's box. Lefty on lefty matchup. These cards are done in the basic format. There is no lefty-righty splits. But on the game board, there are a few entries where a lefty on lefty will do something or a righty on righty will do something, if that comes into play. All right, Eddie Collins steps in. It's an 8, so we're still under Ruther. And the next flip is a 12. So there we go. We just talked about it. It just happened. A 12 would normally be a base hit, but lefty on lefty, that turns into a strikeout. So Ruther has struck out Eddie Collins for out number 2. And almost on cue, we had the strikeout, or the effect of the lefty-righty. So now here's Buck Weaver, number 3 batter in the order, against Ruther. The next flip is a Z. So a Z means we've got an unusual play. So we will go to our Z chart results to figure out what's going on here. And we do that by making one more flip and checking the random number. That random number is a 56. So on the Z results, a 56 says consult fielding table on that 45 through 78. The fielding table is right next on the same sheet as the chart results. So now we're going to do another flip and check the fielding table. So the next flip to see what's going on with this fielding table is a 66. So the fielding table 66 says difficult fly to center field. If it's a CD 1 to 3, the ball falls for a double. If it's a CD4, it is caught. So we're looking for the center fielder of the Reds, and that's going to be Roush. He is a CD1. He's a CD1, so that means he did not make the play. It will fall in for a double for Buck Weaver. So Buck Weaver hits a 2-out double, and that will move Ruther down to an 11 on his rating. There is no error check because that came off the pitcher card. So now that'll bring up Joe Jackson, cleanup hitter, with a chance to drive in the first run of the game. Here's the flip. It's an 8, so we're still under Ruther. And the next flip is a 17. 17 under Ruther is a base hit. And the rules state a base hit off of a pitcher's card is an automatic 2-base advancement. So we don't even need to question it. Buck Weaver has just scored on the Joe Jackson single. So that will move Ruther down 1 for the single allowed and 1 for the run. And the White Sox take an early 1-0 lead here as they're getting to Ruther late in the inning. And that will bring up Happy Felsch. He's pretty happy right now because they're up 1-0. Here is the flip. It's a clutch defense. So now we need to see which player we're checking the clutch defense for. And that's going to be for the pitcher, Ruther. So Ruther, his clutch defense, I don't see anything on his card about clutch defense. It doesn't really say anything on here about clutch defense. So I'm really not sure what to do with that. Haven't really come across this on this older set. Some reason it doesn't say. The other pitchers have the CD ratings on them, but for some reason this one does not. So what I'm going to have to do in that case is I'm going to flip a new CD and check another fielder. So let's check another fielder, and that's going to be the center fielder. So that's the center fielder, Roush. We just looked at him before. He was a CD1. So we're going to flip the next chart, our next card, and check the CD chart for fielding number 1. And that result is an 84. And I believe an 84, something that high up in the numbers, is going to be out of the range of the CD check anyway. Let's see here. CD tables. Outfielder, yeah, 81 says no action. So all that for naught. We're going to start all over again. Happy Felsch is happy he gets another chance. So we'll start anew. The flip is a 10. So we're under Happy Felsch. He likes that. He's even more happy because it's under his card. So here is the flip. Charlie Sheen is happy. It's a 38. He's even happier. Well, he would have been, but he walked. He didn't strike out. He almost hit a home run, though, but he walked. So that does move Shoeless Joe up to second base. Put runners at first and second with 2 outs. So all this is going on with 2 outs and the base is empty. And that'll bring up Chick Gandil, the first baseman. And, of course, with the walk, we'll move Ruther down to an 8. So here's Gandil. The flip's a 9, so we're still under Gandil now. We're not under Ruther. And the flip on the card is a 68. That's in the out range on Gandil. So it will be an out. He's a right-handed normal hitter. And the flip's a G5, which is a ground ball to third, but there is an asterisk, so we do need to check for an error. And the flip on the error check is none. So the play was made. Probably a fielder's choice, but we'll go and call it 5-3 just for simplicity's sake. And the White Sox are finally out here in the top of the first, but they do break through with a run. And after half an inning here, it is the White Sox 1 and the Reds coming to bat. Okay, Maury Rath will lead off the bottom of the first against Seacott. Seacott is a 2-9 as well as Ruther. So here is the flip. It is a 7. 7 means we're under Seacott. The next flip is a 55. Seacott's out range begins at 31, so that is an out. Rath is a left-handed normal hitter, which is a ground ball to short. So Riesberg has the play on it. It is an asterisk, so we do check for an error. So Riesberg does not make an error. He makes the play. And there's one away. And that'll bring up the second batter in the order. First baseman Jake Dalbert. I think that's how it's pronounced. Some of these names are a little bit tricky to pronounce. Jake Dalbert, the batter. It's a 6, so we're under Seacott. It's a 14, so that's going to be a base hit. A base hit off of Seacott. That will move Seacott down to an 11. There is no error check because it was off the pitcher card. So Dalbert gets a 1-out single. And now the Reds might have something going here. And one of the more interesting names on the team is up next. Third baseman, Heine Groh. Heine Groh. Almost sounds like a name of a beer. All right, here we go. Next flip is a 7, so that's under Cicotte. And the next flip is a 25, Cicotte 25. That's a strikeout. So Cicotte bearing down there, striking out Groh for out number 2. And that'll bring up center fielder Ed Roush as the cleanup hitter. He is a left-handed hitter, lefty on righty. Flips a 6, so we're under Cicotte. And the next flip is an 18. Cicotte 18 is a base hit. And as we know, base hits off the pitcher card are automatic 2-base advancement. So Dalbert will truck over to third base. We have runners at the corners with 2 outs. Cicotte will drop down to a 10 now based on that base hit allowed. The Reds have runners at the corners and 2 outs. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Pat Duncan, with a chance to tie the game here. It's a 5, so that is under Cicotte. The next flip's a 27. Cicotte 27 is a walk. So Cicotte, who usually had pretty good control, walks Duncan, and that will load the bases. So the bases are loaded now with 2 outs, and that will move Cicotte down to a 9. And now the big bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and stepping to the plate for the Reds will be their shortstop, Larry Kopf. Kopf. I'm guessing it's Kopf. The F might even be silent. It might just be Kopf. I'm not sure, but I think it's Kopf. So here we go. Cicotte. It's a 7, so Cicotte's still in control, but he's looking for a larger number here on the random number. He didn't get it. He got an 11, but righty on right. Oh, I'm take that back. Kopf's a switch hitter. So it is going to be an infield hit. An 11 will stick because he's left-handed. So it's an infield hit. That means everybody moves up a base, and we've got a tie ball game. Tie ball game. Kopf cued one off the bat and beat it out for an infield hit. That will knock Cicotte down 1 for the hit, 1 for the run. He's down to a 7. The bases are still loaded with 2 outs. And that'll bring up the right fielder, left-handed hitting Greasy Neal. So let's see if how slippery he's going to be for Cicotte to get through here in this first inning. The flip is a 5, so we're under Cicotte, but he's looking for a big random number, not these small numbers. The flip's an 82. That's a big number, so that's an out. Lefty normal, or left normal batter, is a ground ball to Risberg, but there is an asterisk. The flip is no error, so the play was made and the inning is over. But the Reds tie it with 3 hits and a walk. And at the end of 1 inning here in Game 1 of the 1919 World Series, the score is the White Sox won and the Reds won. Okay, we're back for the top of the second. I'm not sure if it picks this up on video very well, but the discard pile is almost as much now as the original starting pile because of that long first inning. So hopefully you're supposed to shuffle these every 3 innings, but you might have to do it after the second inning depending on how this goes. We'll see. Both pitchers took kind of a big hit here in the first inning. Let's see if things settle down in the second inning. Ruther now will be facing Swede Risberg, the shortstop, to lead off. And Risberg's a right-handed normal hitter against a lefty Ruther. It's a BD, so we're going to see what kind of power we got here. But BD rating of 0 for Risberg, so it may not come into play. And it does not. 65 means we just ignore that and keep going. So we'll start again. It's a clutch defense. So here we go again now with another check. And the clutch defense is the second baseman, Maury Rath. And Maury Rath's clutch defense rating is a 2. So we're going to check and see if that comes into play. Here is the flip. It's a 73. That number is out of range for the clutch defense table. So once again, it's a redo. So the flip this time is a 6, which is under Ruther. And it's a 38. Ruther 38 is in the out range. Swede Risberg is a right normal batter. And it's a pop up to second base. So he pops up to Maury Rath for out number 1. And that will bring up the number 8 hitter in the lineup, Ray Schalk. Ray Schalk, the catcher. Here's the flips of 9, so we're going to be under Schalk with that 9 check. It's a 64, though, and Schalk's out range is 47 to 88, so it will be an out. He's a right normal hitter. which means he pops up to his counterpart, Wingo, at second base. So he fouls out to Wingo for out number 2. And that'll bring up the pitcher spot. Of course, there was no DH back in 1919. And with this older set, there was really no pitcher cards to go by. But they do have a road pitcher generic hitting card and a home pitcher generic hitting card. So that's what we're going to go with. I don't know how accurate it is, but hey, we're going back to almost a century here. So take what we can get. If it's under Ruther's card, it wouldn't matter anyway. So let's see. It's a flip. It's a 12. Of course it's going to be under the hitter card. Of course. It's just Murphy's Law here. The next flip is a 63. 63 is in the out range. So Cicotte is a right-handed normal hitter. It's a ground ball to third with an asterisk, so we do need to check the error possibility. It's a 9 to 10, but that is out of the error range. Heine Groh does not have an error that high. So it's 3 up, 3 down for the White Sox here in the top of the second. And Ruther has restored a little bit of order. And we go to the bottom of the second, still tied at 1. And that'll bring up the catcher, Ivy Wingo, to lead off for the Reds. It's a 7, which is under Cicotte. And the next flip is a 17. So once again, Cicotte has given up a base hit off his own card. We'll knock him down to a 6. So Wingo, by getting that hit, is going to allow the pitcher, Ruther. We have the standard home pitcher hitting card, but that's not going to be used because he's in a bunt situation right now. So we're going to sacrifice bunt here. And let's see, does the card say what the bunt rating is of the pitcher? Of course not. It does not say it. Seems. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a sacrifice AA. So he's given an AA bunt rating, which is the best there is. And we've got the sacrifice chart right here. So we're going to do a random number and compare it to the chart. It's a 68. A 68 is right here under the chart, and we'll read over. It says lead runner tagged out, catcher to lead base, batter saved. So it's a fielder's choice. He could not get the bunt down. It's going to be a 2-6 put out on the fielder's choice bunt. And there's one away, and now we're back to the top of the order, and Maury Rath. It's a 9, so we are still under Cicotte. And it's a 72. That is in the out range. Maury Rath is a left-handed normal hitter, which means he grounds to the first baseman, Chick Gandil, who will flip to Cicotte, but there is an asterisk, so we do need to check for an error. There is none. So it is a 3-1 putout, and that will move Ruther, the pitcher, up to second base. 2 down now, and Jake Dalbert, the first baseman, will get a chance to drive home Ruther. Here's the pitch. It's a BD, but his BD rating is 0, so it may not come into play. It's a 24. 24. BD rating 24. On these cards, I think I'm playing on the wrong table here, guys. I'm playing on the newer table that's got the advanced things on it, and these cards are not designed for that, so I apologize for that. I am going to pause this, go get the old table real quick, and check the BD section out. One moment, please. Okay, I went and got the top portion of the old board that has the clutch batting rating in it, or charts in it. The newer boards, the clutch batting ratings are on the cards themselves, but these cards were not designed that way. The flip was a 24, and he was a BD 0. But BD 0, 11 through 24, right here, says double to right center, all runners score. So I'm glad I did check it. So that will be a double for Dalbert, and that will score the pitcher Ruther. He will come around, and the Reds now lead it 2-1, and we're going to take 1 away from Cicotte for the double and 1 away for the run. He's down to a 4, and the Reds lead it by the score of 2-1 now. I'm going to leave that board up there just in case I need to reference it again. And that'll bring up Heine Groh. He struck out his first time up. Let's see what happens here. It's a 10, so we're under Groh's card. It's a 36. Groh 36 is a triple. So Heine Groh is just tripled. And that will score Dalbert for another run. And the Reds now lead it 3-1. We'll take off 1 for the triple and 1 for the run, and Cicotte is quickly running out of gas here early. and Reds are getting to him early and often. I don't know if there was any money slipped under the table or not, or under the pillow in this case. You never know. Maybe they'll write a book about it. All right, Eddie Roush, the batter. The flip is a 3, so we're under Cecott. And it's an 81, finally an out. Left normal batter. Left normal batter, ground ball back to Cecott with an asterisk, so we do need to check play here. There is no error, so Cecott finally gets out of it. But the Reds pick up 2 runs, and after 2 innings, they lead it by the score of 3-1. And as you can see, we're definitely running low on fast action cards here. But we'll stick with it and see if we can get through this without having to reshuffle. Back to the top of the order for the White Sox, Shane O'Collins. He grounded to first his first time up. The flip's a 5, and that will be under the pitcher Ruther. And the next flip's a 56. That's in the out range. Collins is a right normal batter. It's a 61, it's a right normal, which means he grounds to Ruther. But we do need to check for an error. And it's an 8-10, but his error rating is a 3, so he makes the play. 1 away. Shane O'Collins is gone. Now Eddie Collins, the batter. Eddie Collins. It's a 10, so we're under Eddie Collins. And it's a 53, which is in the walk range. So Eddie Collins has drawn a walk. 1 out walk. That will move Ruther down to a 7. And that will also bring up the third baseman, Buck Weaver. Buck Weaver doubled his first time up. Let's see what he does this time. The flip's a 2, so we are under Ruther. It's a 46, which is in the out range for Ruther. Buck Weaver, right-handed, ground ball to first. So a G3 with an asterisk. Could be a double play here. And it is. No error on the play, so it's a 3-6-3 double play. And the inning is over. So nothing doing for the White Sox here in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third, score still 3-1. And we have left fielder Pat Duncan to lead things off against Cecott. It's a 9, so we're still under Cecott. It's a 67, that's an out. It's a right normal batter, which means he flies to left. 1 away. And that will bring up the shortstop, Larry Kopf. And we're almost out of cards here, guys. I've never gone this far before, but we'll keep going. It's a 6. 6 is under Cecott. It's a 28. 28 is showing a wild pitch, but there's nobody on base, so we disregard and reboot. So we'll try again. It's a 5, which means we're still under Cecott. And it's a 56. 56 is in the out range. And the next flip is, for Kopf, who's a switch hitter, is a fly to center. So a fly to center, out number 2. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Greasy Neal, with 2 outs and the base is empty. Greasy Neal. Maybe Cecott can settle in here after a rough first 2 innings. The flip is an 8, so we're under Cecott. Next flip is an 81. That is an out. Greasy Neal is a left-handed normal batter, and he grounds to Chick Andel at first, but there is an asterisk. The next flip is none. So 3 up, 3 down finally for the Reds here in the bottom of the third. And after 3 complete here in Cincinnati, it's the Reds 3 and the White Sox 1. And you can see how few cards were not flipped in that first 3 innings. So we're going to shuffle the deck, flip the deck, and start anew to start the 4th. Okay, we're all ready to go with a fresh deck. It's been cut and turned over and flipped over and made as fresh as we could possibly make it. And now Joe Jackson will lead off the top of the 4th against Ruther. It's an 11, so we're under Jackson's card. The next flip is a 33. Jackson 33 is a triple. So Joe Jackson leads off with a triple to try to get things going for the White Sox. And that'll bring up Happy Fell. She's pretty happy about having Joe Jackson at third to drive in. We'll see here. The infield is back, of course. And that triple will knock Ruther down to a 6. Here is the next flip. It's an 8, so we are under Ruther. And the next flip is an 88. All right, 88. We go to the right-left check again, and 88 would normally have been an out, but when a right-handed, when a right-handed batter faces a left-handed pitcher in an 88, that's a base hit. So Felsch drives in Joe Jackson, thanks to that lefty-righty check, and the White Sox have cut the lead to 3-2. We'll move Ruther down, 1 for the hit and 1 for the run. Felsch is on first base. There was no need to check an error because it was off the pitcher card. So now Chick Gandil is up, facing Ruther. Oops, kind of did a little drop there. It's a 4. It's a 4, which is under Ruther. It's an 81, and 81 is in the out range. Chick Gandil is right-handed normal. Right normal is a ground ball A, G5A, with an asterisk. So we'll see what happens here. It's a 1-10, so there is going to be an error because third baseman Heine Groh is listed as an E3. So there is an error. We need to flip to see what kind of an error. It is an error number 1. So we go to the base running charts with a man on first base. Man on first base chart. Error number 1, batter safe on error, runner advances to second. So, an error on the play, that does not count against Ruther's reduction rating, but it does count against the Reds having runners on base and not getting outs. That's an E5, and that will move Felsch up to second base. So instead of a potential double play, or at least an out of some sort, it's nobody out and 2 on. And the shortstop, Swede Risberg, the batter. It's a 7, so we're under Ruther. Infield is at double play depth. It's a 41, that's in the out range. Swede Risberg is a right normal batter. Right normal is a line drive to shortstop, Kopf, but there is an asterisk, so we check to make sure there's no error. There is none. So Risberg lines to his counterpart Kopf for out number 1, and nobody can advance. That'll bring up catcher Ray Schalk. Ruther, a 9, so we're still under Ruther. It's a 53, that's an out, and Schalk's a right normal batter. Another line drive to short, back-to-back line drives to short, and we'll check the error again to make sure Kopf did not make one. He did not. So consecutive line outs to shortstop, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Eddie Cicotte. So the White Sox thought they had more going than what they had, but they've kind of hit a roadblock here, and it's up to Cicotte. It's an 11, and of course we're under Cicotte's card when you don't want to be. And here's the next flip. It's a 32. That is a strikeout. So Cicotte strikes out. So Ruther actually does pretty well to get out of that, just allowing the 1 run. And so we go to the bottom of the 4th with the score, Reds 3, White Sox 2. And that'll bring up the catcher, Ivy Wingo, to lead off the bottom of the 4th. He singled his first time up. This is a 6, which is off of Cicotte's card. It's a 24. Cicotte 24 is a strikeout. So Wingo this time strikes out, and now Ruther will not be able to bunt for a sacrifice. He'll have to try to hit off his own card. He's off the standard home pitching card. So we'll see what happens here. It's a 2, so it's under Cicotte, so it won't matter anyway. And the next flip, if I can get these things apart. Some of these things stick together on me sometimes. All right, here we go. Next flip's a 66. That's an out. Ruther is a left normal, but it's a ground ball to third, so that's over there to Buck Weaver. Check to make sure he didn't make an error. He did not. So it's a 5-3 ground out for out number 2. And now that will bring up leadoff hitter Maury Rath with 2 outs and the base is empty. It's a 7, which is under Cicotte. And the next flip's a 21. 21 is a base hit. So it's a 2-out single. That will knock Cicotte down to a 1. So 1 more hit and he will reach his point of ineffectiveness. Now Jake Dalbert is up, and Dalbert has singled and doubled in his 2 trips. So he's been a thorn in the side of Cicotte. It's an 8. So we're under Cicotte. And the next flip's a 68, so that's going to be an out. Left normal batter. Left normal batter is a ground ball to short, so Risberg has a chance here. Check for an error. There is none, so Risberg makes the play, and the inning's over. So we completed 4 here in Cincinnati with the score, the Reds 3 and the White Sox 2. Top of the order, and Shano Collins will lead off the 5th against Ruther. And the flip is a 4, so we're under Ruther. The next flip is an 81, which is in the out range. And the final check for the defense is a ground ball to first with an asterisk. So we do make sure there is no error, and there is none. So that's the way Collins started the game, grounding to first unassisted. He did it again here in the 5th to lead off the 5th. And there's one away very quickly for Eddie Collins, second baseman. And the flip's a 6, so we are under Ruther's card. And if I can get these cards apart, I'll be doing okay. Here's the next flip's a 76. That is an out range. Eddie Collins is lefty normal. Lefty normal is a ground ball to second, but there is an asterisk, so we do check for a possible error. It's a 2 to 10, so it could be an error here on the second baseman, Maury Rath. His error rating is error rating 3, so it is an error on Rath. Let's see what kind of an error. It is an error number 2. So bases empty. And error number 2. So we go to the bases empty chart. Error number 2, wild throw, batter to second base. So Rath uncorks one into the stands. It is a 2-base error on Rath, and that will move Collins to second base with only 1 out. And the big boppers coming up. Buck Weaver and Joe Jackson to follow. So Buck Weaver is up. See if he can get something going here for the Sox. It's a 9, but that's still under Ruther. And it's a 34. Ruther 34 is in the out range. Buck Weaver's right-handed normal batter. And right normal is a liner to third base. So Weaver lines out to the third baseman, Heine Grove, for out number 2. And it's up now to Joe Jackson. He did triple his last time up, so he's got a big spot here to drive in the tie and run if possible. Here's the flip. It's an 8, so we're under Ruther. The next flip's a 57. That's an out. Joe Jackson, left normal batter, is going to be a pop-up to the first baseman, Dalbert, to end the inning. So the error did not come back to cost the Reds. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, still Reds 3, White Sox 2. Seacott still hanging on in there with a 1. We do have Bill James in the bullpen warming up in case he needs it, in case he needs relief. And Heine Grove will lead things off. He did triple his last time up. Let's see what happens this time. It's a 9, which is under Seacott, so he won't triple this time. Let's see what the result is here. It's a 66. That's an out. Heine is a right normal batter. Ground ball to first with an asterisk, so we check Gandil. There is no error, so it's a ground out to first base unassisted. 1 away, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Ed Roush. Ed Roush. It's a 6, so we're under Seacott. It's a 75, which is an out. And Roush is left normal, so left normal is a ground ball to short. We do need to check the error on Risberg. There is none, so it's a 6-3 ground out. 2 down. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Pat Duncan. Pat Duncan. The flip is a 8. That's under Seacott. And the next flip, if I can get these cards apart here, is a 45. That is an out. He's a right normal batter. Right normal batter's line to short. There is an asterisk. We check Risberg. There is no error. So it's a line out to the shortstop, Risberg. 3 up, 3 down. And Seacott survives another inning. After 5 complete, score is Cincinnati 3 and Chicago 2. And Happy Felsch will lead things off here in the top of the 6th. And let's see what he can do. It's a 6, which is off of Ruther's card. It's a 22, and Ruther picks up a strikeout. So Ruther picks up his 3rd strikeout of the game, striking out Happy Felsch, who is not too happy right now. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Chick Gandil. It's a 10, so we are under Gandil. The next flip's an 87. That, again, the right-left situation comes into play. Left-hander on the mound, right-handed batter, 87 is a single. with 2 base advancement, but nobody's on base, so it's just a single. We'll move Ruther down to a 3, and Gandil has himself a 1-out single. But we are getting to the bottom of the order. Swede Risberg is the batter. It's a 7, so we're under Ruther. It's a 43, which means we're in the out range. Risberg's a right normal batter. Right normal batter is a ground ball to third with an asterisk. And there is no error. Now let's check the runner advancement here on the man on first chart, a GX5. The infield was back. It says batter safe, runner on first, out at second. So it's a fielder's choice. 5-4 fielder's choice. 2 down, and the catcher Ray Schalk is the batter with Risberg at first base. So let's see what Schalk can do. It's a 10, so we are under Schalk. And the next flip is an 11. An 11 is an infield hit because Schalk is right-handed and Ruther is left-handed, so there is no strikeout. It is simply an infield hit, and that will move Ruther down to a 2 and put runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the pitcher spot is coming up, but we're going to get a pinch hitter for Seacott. This is too important of an at-bat here, plus the fact he's down to a 1 on his rating. So Nemo Leibold. Nemo Leibold will pinch hit here in a big spot. Nemo Leibold is going to pinch hit here in the top of the 6th. Big spot, 2 on, 2 outs. Leibold is a left-handed batter, but they're going to send him up there anyway. He's the best pinch hitter they have. So Ruther trying to bear down here, but it's 12, so we are under Leibold. We are under Leibold since it is a 12. The next flip, if I can get these cards apart, well, I got to find a way to make these things less sticky somehow or another. These 2 right here just want to stick together on me. See if I can get them apart here. There we go. Now I got it. Okay. So it's 12, so we're under Leibold. The next flip is a 27. Leibold 27 is a base hit. A base hit to right field. And a base hit to right field. It's off the batter card, so there's no automatic 2-base advancement. However, there are 2 outs, so the runners will get a head start here. It is to right field, keep in mind. So from second to home on any single to any outfield, doesn't matter what position it's from. We've got that chart right here to check. And remember, we're going to add 20 because there are 2 outs. So the runner on third base, yes, I'm sorry, let me speak again. The runner on second base, Risberg, his OBR rating is a B. So he's going to be off the B chart, off this B chart right here. So it's looking pretty good already, no matter who the outfielder is. The outfielder happens to be Greasy Neal in right field. So we'll check Greasy Neal here. And Greasy Neal is a T4. So he's a T4. OBRB is 11 to 46, but don't forget we add the 20. So it's 11 to 66 for Risberg to score. So this fast action card has to be a 66 or less to score. The flip's a 75. He is out. Greasy Neal fires a bullet and guns down Risberg at the plate to preserve a 3-2 lead for the Reds. So how do you like that? Greasy Neal firing to the plate to get Risberg. And just when they thought they were going to tie the game, they don't. Now the base hit does move Ruther down to a 1, so he's getting close to his point of fatigue as it is. But the score still stays 3-2. And the new pitcher for the White Sox is the aforementioned Bill James. This is not the same Bill James that writes all the sabermetric baseball books, obviously. Another Bill James, but Bill James is in. He is a PB28, and his relief, I'm sorry, he's a start. I can't use him. He's a start rating. My bad. Let's go to a bullpen guy. We're going to bring in Roy Wilkerson. Roy Wilkerson. He's got a relief rating of 6, and his PB rating is 2.8. He's a right-hander. So Roy Wilkerson is the new pitcher for the White Sox here in the bottom of the 6th, and he'll be facing Larry Kopf to lead things off. Larry Kopf, a switch-hitting shortstop. It's a clutch defense right off the bat, so we check and see if there's a clutch defensive play on the third baseman, Buck Weaver. So Buck Weaver, his clutch defense rating is a 1. Buck Weaver's clutch defense is a 1. So we see if that comes into play with this next flip. Whoops, dropped it there. It's a 45. So clutch defense 45, I think, is out of range. Clutch defense 45, CD1 is out of range. 41 to 88 means there's no play. So Larry Kopf gets another chance. Here's the flip. It's a 7, so we're under Wilkerson. It's a 28. 28 for Wilkerson is a walk. So Wilkerson leads off, walking Larry Kopf. He will drop down to a 5 on his reduction rating. Not a good way to start. Kid Gleason not happy. So here is Greasy Neal, who made that great throw last inning. It's a 10, so we're under Greasy's card. And the flip's an 85, so that is going to be an out. He's a left normal batter. Ground ball 4, ground ball to second with a star. That's going to be a double play unless there's an error on Eddie Collins. Let's see here. There is none. A G4 is an automatic double play. So there's a 4-6-3 double play. And that helps the White Sox get out of potential jam. And now there's 2 outs and the bases are empty for catcher Ivy Wingo. Ivy Wingo. It is an 8, so we're under Wilkerson. And the next flip's an 81. That is an out. Left normal batter, Wingo. Left normal is a ground ball back to Wilkerson, but he's an E0, so there's no need to even check for an error. It's an automatic out. Inning is over, and we completed 6 here in Cincinnati. And again, we almost went through the whole stack of cards here because of all the activity, which is good. So at the end of 6, it's the Reds 3 and the White Sox 2. Okay, we start the top of the 7th here. Ruther is 2 things. Ruther is scheduled to lead off the next inning. He's also down to a 1 on his reduction rating. So with that in mind, lefty Slim Sally is loosening in the Reds bullpen. And we'll see if Ruther is in need of relief here in the top of the 7th. We're at the top of the order in Shano Collins. So here is the flip with the new stack now. It's a 6, and that's going to be under Ruther. And the next flip, if I can get these things from falling apart on me here. The next flip is a 28. 28 under Ruther is barely in the out range. He just found his out range. Shano Collins is right-handed normal batter. Right normal is a ground ball to second with an asterisk. So we check Maury Rath to make sure there is no error, and there was none. So Shano Collins has had a rough day. He is 0 for 4 with 4 ground outs. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield yet. That'll bring up Eddie Collins. Eddie Collins, the batter. It's a 9, but we're still under Ruther. Flips to 51. That's an out. Collins is lefty normal. Lefty normal is a ground ball to short. To Kopf, there is an error check though, but he did not make any. So Kopf grounds out, or gets the play on Collins for 2 outs. A lot of ground ball outs thrown by Ruther in this game. And here's Buck Weaver. Buck Weaver. It is a 5, so we're still under Ruther. It's a 71, which is an out range. And it's a ground ball to first, so we're going to check Dalbert to make sure he did not make an error. And let's check that out here. He did not, so he makes the play. 3 up, 3 down for the White Sox in the top of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time. Dutch Ruther has made it through 7. He will be lifted for a pinch hitter when we return. Okay, Jimmy Smith is the Reds pinch hitter to start the bottom of the 7th. Rory Wilkerson still in for the White Sox. Here is the flip. It's an 8, and Wilkerson is a 2-8, so Wilkerson will control. Next flip's an 85. That is an out. Smith is a switch hitter, so he's batting lefty. It's a ground ball to Gandil. We will check an error, make sure Gandil did not make any. He did not. So Jimmy Smith fails in his pinch hitting duties. So we're back to the top of the order, and Maury Rath. The flip is a 2, so we're still under Wilkerson. It's a 48. That's an out. Rath is lefty normal, which means he pops up to Gandil, but there is an asterisk, so we do need to do a error check, and there is none. So Gandil makes the catch of the pop-up for 2 outs, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Jake Dalbert. Jake Dalbert. Here is the check. 7 is under Wilkerson. 57 is an out. It's a left normal for Dalbert. Left normal is a line drive to Buckweaver. He makes the play, and the inning is over. So a calm 7th inning. As we go to the 8th, it is still the Reds 3 and the White Sox 2. Jimmy Ring is going to come in to pitch now for the Reds. They were going to use Sally, but there's too many right-handed batters coming up, so we're going to go with Jimmy Ring. And he's got a 6 for his reduction rating as a reliever. So Jimmy Ring will start off facing Buck Weaver here to start the 8th. Ring is a 2.7 for his PB rating. Here's the flip. It's a 9, so we are under Buck Weaver. And the next flip's a 17. Buck Weaver 17 is a base hit. And since it's off the batter card, we do need to make sure it's not an error on the left fielder. There is no error on the left fielder, so it is simply a single for... Oh, my bad. I forgot to move. See, that's what I do when I'm doing videos. I forget to do things. Buck Weaver actually made the last out of the last inning. So the flip 17 is actually for Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson. So he's still got a single to center. And the flip is still a no for an error. But it's a single to center, not a single to left. And it's Joe Jackson getting the single, not Buck Weaver. Good thing I keep score. All right, so we move Ring down by 1. And Joe Jackson has led off with a base hit. So Happy Felsch now with a chance as the White Sox try to get something going here in the 8th with the heart of the order coming up. And Happy Felsch, the flip's a 7, so we are under Ring. And 44. Ring 44 is in the out range because 36 starts as out range. And Felsch is right normal. Right normal is a ground ball to third, G5 star. That's a double play if there's no error. And there is none, so it's a 5-4-3 double play. So Ring rings up a double play. Just tailor-made to get out of that. And now there's 2 outs and the base is empty for Chick Gandil. Gandil is an 8, so we are under Gandil's card. The next flip is a 12. That would be a hit, but Ring's a righty, Gandil's a righty. Righty on righty is a foul to the catcher with the chart there. So instead of a hit, Gandil pops up to Wingo, the catcher, to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 8th with the score still Reds 3, White Sox 2. And Wilkerson's still in there. He's done well in relief, and he will be facing the third baseman, Heine Groh, to start off the bottom of the 8th. It's a Z, so we got an unusual play. Let's see what the unusual play result says. 56. So we go to the unusual play chart. Z chart. 56 is in the fielding table. So the fielding table is on the same page. So we're going to check the fielding table here. I'm going to check the fielding table and see what happens on this result. The next flip of the fast action card, whoops, is a 66. So fielding 66 says difficult fly to center. Difficult fly to center. If CD 1 to 3, the ball falls for a double. For CD 4, it's caught. So we're checking Happy Felsch. Check his CD rating. Felsch's CD rating is only a 2. It's only a 2. All right, so let's see here. Now, going back to these old cards again, this board, these C charts are designed to have CD ratings up to 4, which in the old system, the CDs only went up to 2. So we have to do a little bit of conversion here with these older cards. And they're just using pre-1989 game boards. So a CD2, which is what Felsch is, translate. It says a CD4 is considered a 2. So actually he does make the play because in the conversion he is actually listed as a 4. So Felsch does make the play. It's caught and the runners have to hold. So there's where, again, I should have had the old board out for these older cards and didn't think about it. But the correction was made and Felsch makes the catch, and Heine is not happy about it, but that's okay. He'll live with it. Okay, now, Ed Roush, the batter. After all that settled down, it's an 8. We're under Wilkerson. Wilkerson, 17. That's a base hit. So we knock Wilkerson down one more. And that is a base hit for Roush, a 1-out single. It is off the pitcher card, so there's no error check to worry about. So Pat Duncan, the left fielder, is up. It's a clutch defensive check. So the clutch defensive check is on the pitcher, Wilkerson. But again, he has no clutch defense rating. So we're going to just ignore that. And we're going to redo here. Actually, no, to keep consistent, what I did last time was flip for a new defensive check. So probably a little bit off, but that's the way I've been doing it, so I want to be consistent. So we're going to check Risberg. Risberg is a CD0. So we'll see if it might even be no play to begin with anyway. Well, it's an 18. So clutch defense, number 18 for a shortstop. Shortstop, third baseman, outfield, first baseman, second base or shortstop. Okay, it's an 18 with a CD0. Hard shot through for a single, runners advance 2 bases. So it's a base hit for Duncan as Risberg was unable to get it. And that will move Roush to third base. And the Reds trying to pick up an insurance run here in the bottom of the 8th. And that will bring up the shortstop, Larry Kopf. Larry Kopf, the batter. Larry Kopf. The flip is a 5, so we are under Wilkerson. And the check is a 27. Wilkerson 27 is a walk. So Wilkerson has walked Kopf to load the bases. And now Greasy Neal is up. And we might get a reliever here for Wilkerson as he's starting to run into problems. So it looks like Kid Gleason is going down his potential pitching options out of the bullpen, and he is going to go with, let's see who he might want to go with. Somebody with a high PB rating would be favorable, although Wilkerson does have a 2.8 already. So it's going to be Grover Loudermilk. Grover Loudermilk is the new pitcher for the White Sox, and his relief fatigue rating or reduction rating is a 6. So Grover Loudermilk coming in a big spot. Bases loaded, only 1 out. The infield's at double play depth, trying to turn 2. And here is Greasy Neal. Loudermilk is a 2.8 as well. So the flip for Greasy Neal is a 7, so we're under Loudermilk, the righty. It's a lefty on righty matchup. It's an 11, and that makes a difference. That's an infield hit. Infield hit will move Loudermilk down 1 for the hit and 1 for the run, as a run does score on the infield hit with the bases loaded. And the Reds pick up that all-important insurance run, and they still have a chance to add to it, but right now it's 4-2. A 4-2 ball game, and it'll be catcher Ivy Wingo. He is a double play candidate. That's the only good part for the White Sox. But we'll see what Loudermilk can do here. The flip's a 5, so we are under Loudermilk. And the next flip is an 82. That is an out. Left normal batter is Wingo. Left normal is a GX6. So that's not going to be a double play. GX6 to Risberg. There is no error because he's not a 9-10. But on a GX6 with the bases loaded, let's see how that comes out. GX6. Had the infield been in, the runner would have been out at home. Infield back. Oh, it does say double play. GX6 is a double play. Okay, that surprised me. I didn't think it would be. But it is a double play. Runner on first and batter out. 6, 4, 3. So that kind of surprised me. I didn't think it would be. I think in the old game it wasn't, on the old board. But this is, and they'll take it. 6, 4, 3 double play. So turns out to work out well to play the infield at double play depth. And the 8th inning is now over. And we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the White Sox facing Jimmy Ring. It'll be the Reds 4 and the White Sox 2. Swede Risberg will lead things off here. And the pitcher spot, Loudermilk, is coming up 3rd in the inning. So manager Kid Gleason is looking at his bench trying to figure out who can pinch hit for them. And it looks like they're going to go with Fred McMullen. Fred McMullen will be the pinch hitter when that spot in the order comes up. He was one of the 8 men out, although he didn't play that much. All right, so right now it's Swede Risberg's chance. The flip's a 4, so we are under ring. And a 4 is a 21. Ring 21, that's a base hit. So ring goes down to a 4, and Risberg starts off the 9th with a base hit as the White Sox try to come back in this game, and it'll bring up catcher Ray Schalk. Ray Schalk, the batter. It's a 9, so we are under Schalk since it's a 9. The next flip is a 12, but that righty-righty gets him again. That 12, righty versus righty, is a foul out to the catcher. So instead of a base hit, it's a foul out to the catcher Wingo for out number 1. And now the pitcher spot is up, and Fred McMullen is your batter. So Fred McMullen is going to pinch hit here against Ring. It's a 6, so we are under Ring. And the flip's a 35. That's a wild pitch. So a wild pitch will move Risberg up to second base. That takes away the double play possibility. Now, the question is, does the pitcher get reduced on a wild pitch? I have to go back and check on that because I'm not 100% positive. So we'll take a look here on pitcher reduction. Pitcher reduction. And it says pitcher reduction, a base hit, a base on balls, run scored, a wild pitch. So therefore it is a pitcher reduction. So Ring is down to a 3. Thought he did, but I wasn't sure without checking. So McMullen is still in there with Risberg now in scoring position. Flips a 4, so we're still under Ring. And it's an 88, so the lefty-righty, had they used a lefty pinch hitter, that would have been a base hit. But instead, it's an out. It is an out. 88, so we check right normal to see what kind of an out it is. It is a pop-up to the second baseman, F4. So there's 2 down now. And it's up to Shane Collins, the last hope for the White Sox. Shane Collins. It's a 5. A 5 is in under Ring's card. It's a 56. That's going to be a potential out. Right normal batter is a ground ball back to Ring, but he is an E0, so he makes the play, and Shane Collins is grounded out for the 5th time in a row, all 5 times, and the ball game is over. So the Cincinnati Reds have defeated the Chicago White Sox here in Game 1 of the 1919 World Series by the final score of 4-2, as the Reds do it to the White Sox. Don't know if it was gambling induced. Didn't look that way. Looked pretty clean to me. But either way you go, that's it. And that's it for another Wednesday night on the channel as we honor the movie 8 Men Out, as the White Sox fall short. And it seems like every time I do a game that honors one side of the equation, that team loses. It didn't happen for the Moneyball. The A's won that game, but when I did it for Major League, the Indians lost, and then I believe when I did it for I'm trying to remember when I did it for the Yankees, I think the Yankees did win. So this might be the first time actually that a team I was honoring actually lost their game. So shame on the White Sox for that. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening and enjoys their week. We're in the middle of March, and it's spring training in full force, and the regular season is not that far away. Good night, everybody. Okay, guys, going with my studious look today as we do a wrap-up for the movie 8 Men Out, and I hope everybody enjoyed that game. I did notice that in the beginning I was using the wrong board, so that's why in the midstream I had to make that correction. I think there was one clutch defense rating that I probably did incorrectly because I had the wrong board. A player was a CD1, and that really translates more to a CD2 or CD3. So that may have affected it. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, you're kind of limited on what you can do with those older sets because some of the ratings are not there. Like that one time I had to do a defensive check on the pitcher, and his error rating was not listed on his card. Or I'm sorry, clutch defensive check. And so I had to make the decision on the fly to either ignore that result or
go on and look at a clutch defense for someone else. So I decided to draw a new random number and pick a different fielder to check on. So that's the way I did that there. Sometimes when you're doing these videos and you get caught off guard and you're not sure maybe which the best way to go, but you just go with what you go with, and that's the way it turns out. That's about it from here. I hope you all enjoyed this week's rendering of baseball movies on the tabletop with 8 Men Out. And like I said in the beginning, next week will be something different. It'll be History Maker Baseball, and it'll be honoring the movie League of Their Own.